What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Shanae, for those who do not know, and for those who do know, welcome back. So this video is my first true crime video ever. I never in a million years thought I would do a video like this, like ever, because the amount of research that you have to do to like do a video like this and then memorize it, and then I need to convey it to you guys as clear and as concise as possible. So sorry if I'm talking a little slow, and yeah, I just don't want to get any details mixed up, because I know in my past videos I can say something but mean something else, but I just let it slide because it wasn't a significant word. But in this case, I'm going to try to talk really slow and really clear so you guys can understand me. Yeah, if you do like a video like this, please give this video a thumbs up, just so I know that you guys enjoy videos like this from me and I can go and move on to my next case. So today we're going to be covering the disappearance of Asha Degree. Asha Jaquilla Degree was born on August 5th, 1990 to Aquila and Harold Degree. She has an older brother named O'Brien Degree, and they were born in Shelby, North Carolina. Asha's parents got married 2 years just before she was born in 1989 on Valentine's Day, which is sad because that is the day she will go missing, but in the year 2000. Asha was described as a shy, timid young girl, but she really did excel in school. She was described as an outstanding student with perfect attendance. She really didn't get to spend time with her friends outside of school. All she did was go to school, go to basketball practice, and go to church with her family. Asha loved church. She loved going to Bible study. Asha and O'Brien had a really sheltered upbringing. Like, they weren't allowed to get on the computer or watch much of TV, only because Aquila wanted to shelter them from the news. The news around that time showed a lot of predators preying on young kids through the computer, so she didn't want to bring that into her home, so she just didn't really allow them to take part in activities like that. I'm going to start this case on February 11th, 2000. So that day schools were closed and they had a big 3-day weekend because of, they said it was President's Day, but I looked back and President's Day didn't fall on the 11th of February, it fell on the 21st of February that year. So it must have been like a teacher's workshop or a teacher's conference or something like that, which made schools close for the day. But Asha and O'Brien still had basketball practice that Friday. So Aquila took them to basketball practice, and Asha was super excited for this game that she had the next day, which was Saturday, February 12th, 2000. It's now February 12th, 2000, a Saturday, and today's the day of Asha and O'Brien's basketball game. Asha fouled out and her team lost. Now, Asha fouling out wasn't a result of her team losing the game. So after the game was over, she was so upset, like visibly upset, to her mother and her friends and her coach, because she felt like she let her team down. Later on that day, O'Brien also had a basketball game, and by the time O'Brien played, her mother said she felt Asha was herself again. She didn't seem to be dwelling on the loss, because you know when you're 9, you like, things happen to you but you literally get over it quick. So that's exactly what Asha did. Like, she lost, she was sad, and then now she's back to her old self. Now it's Sunday, February 13th, 2000. This was a normal Sunday for the Degree family. They went to church. After church, they went to have lunch at their aunt's house, which was down the street from their house. They also said that Asha was really happy because they got to get Valentine's Day candy early. She was super happy that she got to eat her candy early. So after they ate lunch and Asha and O'Brien ate their candy, the Degree family went home. But the dad didn't go home because he had to go and work his second job that day. So when Aquila, Asha, and O'Brien got home, Aquila had a strict nightly routine for the kids. She would bathe them. They ate already, so she would bathe them, and then they would go straight to bed. But that particular night, there was a heavy rainstorm, like to the point where it caused a crash on their block and knocked the power out of their house. Unfortunately, Aquila could not give her kids a bath, so she just put them in their pajamas and sent them straight to bed. And this was around 8:30 p.m. Harold usually gets home around 11:30, but since the weather was bad, he got home around 12:30 a.m. The power was back on by that time, And as soon as he came home, he did check on Asia and O'Brien. And I do want to tell you guys that Asia and O'Brien did share the same room, so he was able to check on both kids at the same time, and they were sound asleep. So once Harold got in the house, he started to unwind from work, because when you get home, some people just don't go straight to bed. He was watching a little bit of TV. He was just unwinding from work. So then 2:30 a.m. rolls around. Before he goes to bed, he checks on the kids again. But then also I read that it was said that he left the house to get more Valentine's Day candy for the kids for the next day. But I don't know. But what we do know is he checked on the kids again before he went to bed, which was at 2:30 a.m. and Asia and O'Brien were sound asleep in their beds. So later that very early morning, O'Brien said he seen Asia standing up in their room. He thought that she was like she just came back from the bathroom. So he didn't think twice about it. He just rolled back over. Shortly after that, he heard her bed squeaks as if she was tossing and turning, trying to find a comfortable spot in her bed. So he didn't look over to lay eyes on her. He kind of just thought that she was moving in her bed. Now, February 14th, an Aquila alarm goes off at 5:45 a.m. She wanted to get a head start on the day because she had to give the kids a bath this morning because she couldn't give them a bath last night due to the power outage. So she goes in Asia's and O'Brien's room just to wake them up so they can get ready to get bathed, but she only sees O'Brien. Asia is nowhere to be found. She looked on the side of O'Brien's bed where usually Asia would lay if she wasn't in her bed. She wasn't there, and then she went downstairs just to check to see if she was on the couch or if she was already in the kitchen getting a head start on her day as well. Aquila looked in the closet, and before she panicked, she went upstairs and she told her husband Harold, Asia's missing. When Harold woke up, they started to call all their relatives, the aunt that lived down the street to see if Asia had went there, the grandmother who is Harold's mother who lived right across the street. They called to see if she was there, but Asia wasn't there either. So then Aquila calls her mother, and her mother tells her to hang up the phone and call the police now. So she didn't call the police. Harold ended up calling the police. At this time, it is almost an hour later. It is 6:40 a.m. and the police show up with search dogs. So like they're trying to search for Asia's scent, but they cannot find it only because of the storm. The wind was too strong and the rain was overpowering Asia's scent. So the dogs were no help at this point. So then they went to question O'Brien because he was in the same room as Asia where she went missing. So they asked O'Brien, did he see anything suspicious or hear anything weird? The only thing he mentioned is that in the hours of 3:45 and 4:15 a.m. he heard Asia's bed squeak. But as in like I said before, he thought like she was just moving around in her bed, but that wasn't the case. There were no signs of forced entry in the house, so there were two theories about what happened to Asia. She either got up and she walked out by herself, someone she knew that was close to the family who had access to the house, who had keys to the house, lured her out of the house. Later on, they did go into Asia's room and they went to see if anything was missing. Her favorite pants were missing, some clothes, and her book bag that she wears to school was missing. So this indicated that she either ran away on her own, but now the question is, why would she run away? Why would a 9-year-old girl run away in the middle of the night during a rainstorm? That's the weirdest part about this whole case. This time, it is now 7 a.m. and the case really started to pick up because there was this 9-year-old girl who went missing in the middle of the night. It was covered by news stations and it was covered by radio stations, and a lot of tips started to flood in. And out of all these tips, 2 tips in particular really stood out to the police. 2 motorists said that they seen a young girl walking on Highway 180 at 4 a.m. and no one reported it at all. Like, that blows my mind that you see a young girl walking on the highway and you don't think to call the police. So one of the men said he didn't think he seen what he was seeing, so he kind of circled back on the highway a couple times just to see if he saw what he think he saw, which was a 9-year-old girl at 4 a.m. walking alone by herself. So he swung back around and he did in fact see her. So he rolls down the window, he asks her, "Hey, do you need help?" And Asia just takes off running into the woods. And that was the last sighting of Asia Degree. Up until this tip came in, police kind of thought that someone had taken Asia. But if someone had taken her, why would they leave her on the side of the highway? So they had a really strong feeling that Asia got up and walked away, like by herself. And no one had no idea why she would do something like this. Some would say maybe she was still upset at that basketball game, but that doesn't make any sense. That basketball game was 2 days before she just randomly got up and walked out of her house. Aquila said that she was fine, like she was back to her old self by the time O'Brien played his basketball game. So why would she choose 2 days after to get up and walk and just leave? This case is so frustrating because, like, if someone would have reported seeing her that night, police would have been up and out and they probably would have found Asia way before she can get away. Asia was also in the 4th grade. And you know when you're in the 4th grade, your class reads a book. So at this time, they were reading this particular book that talked about children who ran away. And when they would run away, they would run away to this utopian... Is that a word? Like, they would run away to, like, utopia for children. Like, and they thought maybe Asia took this book to heart and that's what she decided to do. Like, she wanted to find this place that these kids were having a great life in. But then I told you guys, like, she grew up shy and very timid. So everybody said that that wasn't in Asia's character. She wasn't naive. She wasn't the type to get up and walk away. So that theory didn't make sense either. February 17th, just 3 days after Asia went missing, police had their first break in her case. Remember the woods that I said Asia ran into? Well, the police started to search around where the man said she ran off into the woods, and they found this shed. So they found some items. So they found some candy wrappers, a Mickey Mouse hairball, and some pens and pencils. And this Mickey Mouse hairball was really distinctive. So when they showed Aquila and Harold the hairball, they said, yes, that's Asia's hairball. So they knew that Asia was probably in this shed, hiding out from the storm that night. But unfortunately, after the police found that information, the case went cold for a while. There was nothing new on Asia's case until August 3rd, 2001, about a year and a half after Asia went missing. 26 miles away from where Asia was last seen in Burke County, in the opposite direction of where she was seen walking, a contractor worker was working on this construction project. And there he found a plastic trash bag. And inside the one plastic trash bag was another plastic trash bag. And inside that plastic trash bag was Asia's book bag. It had her phone number and it had her name on the book bag. And this really made the police skeptical because it's like someone intentionally hid this book bag in a trash bag and then put it inside another trash bag. And then some speculations was maybe the person who did this tried to preserve what was inside of the book bag, but when they found what was inside, it didn't really tell anything. And what was found in the book bag was just her basketball jersey, some clothes, and pictures of her family. And now, this was found almost 30 miles from where she lived. They were all just thinking, how did a 9-year-old girl get 30 miles from where she lived? And this was not walking distance for anyone, literally anyone. And so they suspect that although Asia did run away on her own, she did come into foul play. And this is why her book bag was found 30 miles from Shelby, North Carolina. And they did test the items from the book bag, but that information was never released to the public, so we don't know what, like, if it had DNA on it. Like, we don't know anything about the items found in the book bag. Now we have to fast forward to the year 2016. The FBI is still saying that this is an open and an ongoing investigation. Now there were tips coming in saying that Asia was seen getting into a green car. Now this green car was really distinctive. This was a 1970 Lincoln Mark IV, which I don't get how this information is coming forward literally 16 years later. Now fast forward 2 more years to 2018. The FBI found a book that was checked out at Asia's elementary school. And this book was called McElliot's Pool by Dr. Seuss. So the police is literally asking anyone who knows anybody who's checked out this book back in 2000 or who have known someone to check out this book at Asia's elementary school, because unfortunately they went to the Asia's elementary school and the library days do not date back that far. So they're trying to get the public's help to figure out, do they know anybody who took this book out around this time, because this was found and it was stamped from Asia's elementary school around the time she went missing, as well as this New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt. So the same as the book, the police are asking the public, please contact Charlotte police. Although that is the gist of Asia's disappearance, I don't know, like, I listen to a lot of true crime and I watch a lot of true crime videos and I listen to people's stories. And I always get this feeling like, oh, she's dead or he's dead, or like, I always get that feeling like they're dead. But when I listened and watched Asia's case and researched Asia's case, I have this weird feeling that she's still out there. Like, Asia is still out there. She, like, I don't know, but I feel like she is still alive. So that is it for this true crime story. If you liked it, please give this a thumbs up. And if you want me to do another one, or you have a suggestion on another missing persons case, please comment them down below. I will greatly appreciate that. And also, before you guys go, I'm going to link down a video that I watched on her case. This girl went into much more depth of her case. The 2 podcasts that I listened to on Asia's degrees case. I'm officially a true crime junkie and I would love to do something like this again, but this does take a lot of work, so I might just make this a once a month thing depending on how I feel. I don't know. But if you enjoyed this, again, give this video a thumbs up. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into my first true crime video ever, and I'll be looking forward to doing another one like this again. Bye.